Hi there everyone, Addicted to Nature, and today we are doing a fish tour of that store there. It's called Yuzhongyu. It's the largest fish-focused pets chain or pet store chain in Taiwan. So we're going to cross the street in just a second and see. Take a look at all those tanks by the windows. It's absolutely beautiful. All right, let's get started. And I want to talk about the difference in pricing between Taiwanese dollars currency and American dollars. So everything you see, you just divide by 30 and you get what the American dollar would be. So this is here we have some aqua soil here. We've got a couple different sizes. And over here are the rimless tanks. You can see that there's nothing on the bottom or the sides. It's $8.99 in Taiwanese dollars, so American dollars, divide that by 30, it's about $30 in American dollars. So it's about a 10-gallon here. Everything we measure in liters, so no gallons on this one here. And the little thing about the aquarium hobby in Taiwan is that it's very, very popular. It's much more popular, I would say, to have an aquarium than a dog or a cat. Although dogs and cats are getting more and more common. It used to be that most people only kept dogs and cats for sort of guarding the house or just for outside. They were outside dogs. Nobody actually brought them inside. But recently, there have been sort of an influence from the West where people have been getting dogs as family pets. Right outside, you see that there's a lot of display tanks. They use a lot of different algae cleaners. You've got some Nanos, plecos. You see a guppy, and guppies actually do eat algae. They eat hydra, which is really, really useful. You just if you see those little hydras waving around in your tank, put a couple guppies in there, don't feed them for a couple days, and you're going to realize that the hydras are gone. So right now we see some moss in here. There's Rotala walichi in the front. I have them in my tanks now. And then here, there's actually two different types of fish, the cardinal tetras and the neon tetras. And the way you can tell is the cardinal tetras have the red bar all the way through, while the neons have them and it stops halfway on the bottom. I didn't really like this blood parrot tank because I felt like the blood parrots were a little bit too crowded. And then this is my favorite part of the store right here. This is the planted tank section, and it's $25 per pot, and that's less than $1 in US dollars per pot, and it's buy four get one. So for about $4 or so, you can get 5 different pots of plants. You can pick and you match yourself. You don't have to get 5 of the same here, and that's about the running price for these different plants here. We see a little bit of Alodia, which is pretty invasive in America. It's classified as an invasive species, but here people just use them for their aquarium. Got a couple different Ludwigias, and I see some Kabamba, maybe some pennywort, fanwort, stuff like that. Got a little bit of floaters, and then this is one of my favorite ones, the Anubias. It's pretty much my favorite plant at this point. I just love the way Anubiases are. Their whole little rhizome grow out of the soil thing, and they're really easy to keep. So if you ever want a new plant and you don't have an Anubias, get an Anubias, and they're really cheap and popular in the US too. And then this is the desktop nano tank section. It's a display. You can see all of these plants are actually low light, low care level plants, probably because it's easier to maintain in the store. But another thing I want you to point out is that all of these tanks are completely gravel. They don't have any aqua soil, and I asked, and it's not hidden beneath the gravel or whatever. There's just plain gravel on there. So we've got mosses, we've got Java ferns, we got a shrimp in there, Anubias, once again, my favorite plant, and you can see that there's actually, a couple bit of bubbles on the top, which is really good because it tells people that, hey, we're not perfect. We still get bubbles on the top. Over here is mermaid weed. It's my favorite plant that I figured out when I came here and I saw and I asked them because I've never seen them before, and they told me what it was. I went home and Googled it, and it's called mermaid weed in English. I think that's peacock moss. Might be Christmas, but it looks a little bit more like peacock to me, and they actually just lay them on the steel meshes and then they just put them in like a carpet. There's a shrimp on that flame moss over there, and then we've got some, I think, Rotala on the back, the red one over there. All right, so that's the Nano section, and this is another big display tank. It's filled with moss. I love that. And there's a lot of shrimp in here, I think. But look at all that driftwood. And then the Ludwigia Super Red on the bottom left there. And then we've got some Windalev Java Ferns, which is what I have in my low-tech tank too. And then check out that aqua soil, right? It's dirty, it hasn't been changed, but the plants are doing really nicely. And then these are all the plant display tanks, plant holding tanks. They're all for sale, but I've got some driftwood that hopefully I can bring through customs when I get back. I think you have to declare driftwood. All right, and those are the moss meshes that we saw earlier as a carpet. And they're really cheap, 70 each, 4 for $2.50, so a little bit more than $1, and then 4 for about $8 or so, a little more than that. And I think that's a dwarf baby tears. You can see it's a little bit of melting, but once it goes back into your tank, once you've got that CO2 running, it should perk up really nicely. And you know, we usually sell dwarf baby tears in pots, but here they just sell them in mats, which is probably a little bit wider. They can grow better on the mats. And then axolotl in the very back there. I think that's what you call it, axolotl. I've never seen one in real life before. And that's the end of the plant section here. Moving on to the fish and shrimp section. Taiwan does a lot of breeding, so we see a lot of fish sold for very cheap. We see a lot of different selections, and as a tropical country, you know, the weather permits breeding outside. And then this is the Neocaridina shrimp section. This is otherwise known as cherry shrimp. The cherry shrimp is actually native to Taiwan. I did a video on catching them in the wild. They're brown in the wild, and through selective breeding, we get all of these different colors that I'm about to show you in a second. That's 15 shrimps for $200 Taiwanese dollars, which is a little bit over $6 in American dollars. You get 15 shrimp for $6. That is so cheap. They're less than $1 each. Over here we've got some more different varieties. I think those are orange bee shrimp, maybe? Or maybe the yellow ones. And we've got all sorts of different guppies. And the guppies are sold as the same price as shrimp. So it's 15 for 200, 15 for about $6 in American dollars. Look at all those cobras. Oh my God. And then those gold ones here. I really like the gold ones. The camera doesn't do them justice. They look so nice. Once again, 15 for about $6. And then these are the other sort of shrimp section. We've got the orange ones. We've got blue dreams. We've got a little bit more red ones. They're probably sakuras, but I'm not sure. And then these cichlids, look how crowded that tank is. Luckily, this is probably just a temporary tank. And then the angelfish, there's a bigger angelfish tank that I'll show you later, but look at all those beautiful angelfish. And then my favorite rummy noses, these are, I think those are cardinal tetras. The red line goes all the way through. And you've got your glowfish, the yellow glowfish. Little bit more angels, and then we've got our flower horns. These flower horns are huge, huge, huge. There's more than $100 each for the flower horns. Absolute unit. What a monster. I think those are Harlequin rasboras. And then we've got our glass catfish. You can see it's very, very cheap. And we've got our betta in the very back, living with gouramis. This is the angelfish tank that I was talking about. They're really, really, probably about this, a little less than the size of a grown person's palm. About $10 for one of the kinds in there, and then I think that's, what is that, $12 maybe? For the other two. I've got some turtles over here. People do a lot of turtles as pets too. I don't know why. And then the arowanas are beautiful. They're very expensive too. They're pretty much just as expensive as the ones in Western countries. And then once again, we've got our rummy nose tetras, my favorite tetras. If you ever want a school of fish that'll school really tightly together and travel pretty much as a ball, as a unit, get rummy nose tetras. They look amazing under your planted lights, aquarium lights, and they're peaceful fish. They don't really attack each other or attack anything. And I think those are salamanders or newts. Never seen them before. A lot of the things that I saw in the store I actually didn't know what they were. And then these are, I think those are the, oh crap, that actually says no videotape. So I think I stopped after this one and went on to the Hardscape section. So those are, I think those were neons. Look at all that driftwood. Driftwood is super cheap. This one there, I'm going to pick them up in a second for you. This one, how much would that? That's probably $30 in American dollars, right? But if you were to just take a look at the price here, it's about $22 or so. $22 for that piece of driftwood. I would probably say it's probably $40 in America. And then we've got Cerceau stones. We've got elephant skin stones. We actually have some saltwater stones in the bottom, but just showing you guys some more of the driftwood. We've got cork, and I think that's lava rock beneath it. Got elephant skin, and then there's also petrified wood right down here. I think that's petrified wood, yeah. And it's really nice. You can make really good mountain aquascapes with it. You just go vertical, have them stand up. Looks really, really nice. I wish I could bring rocks back. You can, but I think, you know, it doesn't take much to reach your limit on the plains. And then you've got our dragon stones. It's about $1.60 for that one particular stone. And then about $2, a little more than $2 for that one. So I think it goes by weight, but much cheaper than the US. All right, so this is the end of the video today. If you liked it, please hit that like button and subscribe. If you ever visit Taiwan, I recommend visiting the store and getting some Hardscape. You can get some filters or heaters. Most of this stuff is from Japan. Taiwan and Japan have a really close relationship. Don't get any of the live fish or plants because that could potentially get you in trouble with the customs in your country when you land at the airport. So I wouldn't do that. And then it's actually more expensive to get Flourish Seachem iron here too. It's $20 compared to about $6 to $8 online back in the US. All right, guys, thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time in the next video. Bye-bye.